LSU, TCU, and here at the helm of CSUN now is CSU Bakersfield has the first possession of the basketball game. Caleb Higgins, the point guard, and the ball into the high post to Sean Stiff. This is Justin McCall in between two defenders, but he's fouled. And Vern Harris blows the first whistle of the game. Vern Harris, very experienced referee. He's been to a few Final Fours. Tony Padilla and Nate Harris, your officiating crew in this one.
Well, already you see CSU Bakersfield. This is what they like to do. They want to control the tempo of the game. They want to be quick and athletic, and they're long, and they have a lot of speed. You'll see how strong and physical their players are, but they tend to slow things down a bit at times. They control that tempo. They have a lot of different sets that they run on the offensive end, and I tell you what, when they get rolling, they can be really good. Their Achilles heel this season, knocking down three-point shots. That's been a struggle all year long.
McCall, a 74% free throw shooter during the regular season, gives CSU Bakersfield a 2-0 lead.
You're going to see CSUN on the other end now. They're an inside-outside team. They want to pump it in before they look for their outside shots. Establish their presence inside the paint.
This is Darius Bean. Little step-back jumper, good for two. You know, we mentioned the officials just a moment ago. One thing that I don't know if fans realize, there are 5 different conferences that have their tournament in Las Vegas this week.
Yeah.
Which means there are really high-level officials available for these games. So the quality of officiating is expected to be excellent during the course of this tournament. A one-hand shot taken and missed by Sif. Battle for the rebound. That'll be a held ball, and the arrow favoring CSUN.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a really competitive game. You know, both these teams didn't have the season they expected, especially CSU Bakersfield. I think they expected to have a much better season. CSUN, you know, with Trent Johnson being the interim head coach, he knew he was in for a bit of a rebuild job. But here we are, and both these teams want to move forward. Both these teams are incredibly competitive. Super excited to see what happens throughout the course of the 40 minutes.
Elijah Hardy gets the ball to James. Miles James wearing 33 for CSUN. That's whipped into the corner and right before he could squeeze the trigger on a shot. There was a foul on CSU Bakerfield's Graylin Easter. His first, team's first. So it'll be Atten Wright inbounding the ball. Sophomore out of Lakewood, California. A good no-look pass down low on the baseline to Onye Aizi. Bean, right-handed dribble. He pulls up. Can't get the roll. An inside position there for Sean Stiff, who comes up with a rebound.
Great speed up and down the floor for CSU Bakersfield, trying to catch CSUN sleeping on the defensive end. Always looking down inside to Stiff. I love what he can do down there.
Stiff with a power move, but he's stripped of the basketball. And Atten Wright takes over. He'll launch. Back rimmed it. And it goes back to the Roadrunners. Easter gets the ball to Justin Edler-Davis. And a foul. That'll be on Onye Aizi, senior out of Napa, and the transfer from Fordham in the Atlantic 10.
Here we go. Check it out right here. You know, penetration. You know, look, I like this. They communicating, using the ball screen. Guards telling him exactly where he wants the screen to take place. Great communication between the teammates.
Bounce pass inside. Ivan Reynolds, wearing number 23, making his first collegiate start. The freshman from Pompano Beach, Florida, was a late add to the starting lineup for Rod Barnes' Roadrunners tonight.
Great opportunity in the first conference tournament of his career.
He's got the ball, but a whistle before he could make the catch. And a foul underneath.
You know, this CSU Bakersfield squad has a few super seniors that have taken advantage of that extra COVID year. Sean Stiff, Justin McCall, Justin Edler-Davis, and from what I understand, you know, 51 weeks ago, right when season ended last year, they made the decision pretty quick. They wanted to come back and see if they could make a run at this second time around.
Scoring's been light in the early going as the teams feel each other out defensively. Elijah Hardy launches. He's got himself a bucket, and CSUN with a 4-2 lead.
It's really impressive stuff. You know, he's a lefty. A lot of times when lefties go left, they go to the hole. When they go right, pick it up mid-range pull-up. Travel. Good call.
Turnover for CSU Bakersfield. And their second one. Graylin Easter played a lot last year, played 21 games. He started 6 of the last 7 for CSU Bakersfield, who is employing their 12th different lineup of the season tonight.
Trying to find answers. Yeah, I think that's just trying to find answers. You know, they got off to a slow start, and it's been a struggle of a year.
Wright pulls up in the lane, and a whistle and a foul.
So you're seeing already CSUN kind of imposing themselves, getting inside the lane quite a bit on some penetration here in the early going. That's what they're deciding to do. They want to drive the basketball. I love how Wright turned the corner on his defender, was able to get into the paint. Like I said, he's a pure scorer.
Ivan Reynolds, his first personal foul. At Wright, the leading scorer, averaging nearly 15 points a game. And he's an 83% free throw shooter, 91 out of 110 during the regular season. A substitution as Elijah Hardy will come out for CSUN, and Marcel Stevens will replace him. See Stevens walking into your picture. (6-2), 4-point lead early. First half.
You know, in my opinion, in order for CSUN to be able to win this basketball game against a very physical CSU Bakersfield, they've got to find a way here on defense to force contested threes. Don't let them get points in the paint, drives the basket. See, like that. If you can force outside threes, they're a 28% three-point shooting team. You give yourself a great chance.
Turnover, and the ball going back to CSU Bakersfield.
Yeah, well, CSUN doing a good job pushing the basketball at and right, trying to make plays for his teammates. How about the defense stepping outside the restricted arc, taking the player control foul, and giving their team another chance here.
Stevens defending. Now the basketball, Cameron Smith. Rod Barnes has gone to the bench early in this game. Justin McCall cut off. Now he enters the lane. Fadeaway jumper's good.
He's pretty lean and strong. I mean, I'm impressed by his ability to change the direction he's going with the basketball. He's played like a Harlem Globetrotter out there with the ball, finding the best angle for a shot.
So Wright hands off Stevens. There is.
Yes.
So that's where we are. But a great new venue, a great sporting venue here in Henderson, Nevada. So CSUN with the basketball and the lead. At and Wright continue to change hands as he works on McCall. And a loose ball taken down by Sean Stitt, 6'8" senior out of Oakland. So right here, Dalf Pinopio, ranked 13. He checked in just before the break. That one right through the hands of Graylin Easter and out of bounds, and a turnover. Ball back to CSUN.
And I give a lot of credit to CSUN's defense, especially Fidelis Okereke, having to guard the big strong man, the 6th-year senior, or rather, I should say 5th year, playing for his 5th year, Sean Stitt. It's a tough guy to guard down inside, but he's forcing him to pass the basketball back out. And that time it resulted in a turnover for them.
Bean lets that one go. That's wide. And here's McCall on the run out. They'll look for some reinforcements. Pinopio cut off along the baseline. Now McCall down the side of the lane. And looked like somebody got a hand on him. Miles James will pick up his second personal foul.
Yeah, Justin McCall has the mentality to score, and he's lean and strong, and he's 6'6" on the wing. So if he gets a full head of steam, catching the ball and driving downhill like we just saw, he's going to get a lot of fouls called against his opponent.
Stevens comes out to defend McCall. McCall challenging him. Now a high screen set by Antavion Collum. Collum with a basketball. 6 seconds to shoot. He lets it fly. Side rims it. And it is taken down by Fidelis Okereke. Okereke, big man, 6'6" from Carson, California. There's a pull-up by Wright. And nobody there for CSUN for a rebound. A possession for CSU Bakersfield. Spinning toward the basket.
Oh, wow.
And a block. Oh, a swat by Okereke.
The defense, the hustle, the help side rotation.
Already setting up the offense. Looking for Okereke. He's got him left block. Okereke into the paint. Left hand lay-in is good. That's a strong move for Fidelis Okereke.
He came in last year as a freshman, and he was raw. He was big, strong. He could bang down inside, but now he's finishing with his weak hand. And you saw the physical force he had on the other end with the block shot to get to that possession.
McCall's handled the ball quite a bit. He's got it again. Okereke guarding him. 5 seconds to shoot. Pinocchio's shot missed everything, and that is picked up by Kalen Rains. Rains wearing number 3 for CSUN, a sophomore from San Diego. Hardy will pull up just inside the three-point stripe, and he knocks it down for 2. 6-point lead for the Matadors.
CSU Bakersfield just 1 of 8 from the field.
McCall comes off a screen. Reverses direction, hand in his face, and a foul. The foul will be whistled against Marcel Stevens.
Well, I think you're seeing a lot of great defense by CSUN. You know, it looked like CSU Bakersfield is going to get a move to the basket. Okereke came from help side rotation. Look how high he is. The top of his hands, like at the top of the square. And then he goes on the other end and showing his ability, his skill level, his off-season workouts. That's an individual workout right there. Because I'm telling you, a year ago, I don't feel like he had that left hand consistent in his repertoire.
That ends a 3-minute and 31-second scoring drought for CSU Bakersfield. So a big chunk of the part of the first half. He did not score. 3.5 minutes. McCall, honorable mention, all Big West.
I mean, he's really good. He's got a lot of talent. You know, he only averaged about 8 points a game last year, but they were much more balanced. They had a lot more weapons on the offensive end of the floor. Some of those guys have since moved on or graduated. A little bit of a different roster this year for Coach Rod Barnes than it was a season ago.
Here's Higgins. He whips it to a wide open Cameron Smith. And it's 10-7. So here's Hardy, Elijah Hardy. Working it over to Stevens. Marcel Stevens did not start this one, came off the bench, but he's had significant minutes in the early going of this game. Kalen Rains.
Well, his team's looking for answers. You know, they're struggling offensively. They're 2 of 9. You got to give a lot of credit to CSUN's defensive game plan because CSUN's doing a good job of keeping CSU Bakersfield out. Now CSUN comes out in a zone. So it's a zone attack for the Roadrunners.
A different look with a 2-3. Higgins, he knocks it down, makes it a 1-point game.
Very small. He can score in bunches now. That's one thing about Higgins. He's a creative driver. And when he gets in there, it gets hot. He's feeling pretty good. He can score a lot.
Onyaizi had the ball, got it back to Hardy. Hardy, inside look. Oh, block. Cameron Smith got a hand on it for the Roadrunners, and now they've got possession. Higgins again.
No, they're trying to pump it into Stiff. I know Stiff wants it. There is the mid post.
Seven seconds on the timer, but on the way to the bucket is Higgins. He scores, he's fouled, and a possible three-point play as Higgins, fouled by Hardy, gives the Roadrunners the lead.
We said he can score like in a flurry of plays. He scores in bunches, and you see why. This is back-to-back possessions where he turned the corner, shook free of the defense, attacked a hole, and was able to get a shot maybe 5-7 feet away.
Higgins missing on the free throw. 78% during the regular season for Caleb Higgins from the line. Relatively speaking, didn't go there all that often. 59 times, made 46.
Not a whole lot, especially for a guy like him who's so quick and speedy with the ball in his hands. Nice job posting up, and even a better defense.
Again, there's Cameron Smith redirecting the shot of Okereke. I think Okereke felt he had a pretty good lane to the basket for a moment. Then it got closed down.
But what was impressive about that is it looks like it's going the other way.
Yeah, Stiff will be called for the offensive foul.
Okereke was all up in the middle, posting up, had all kinds of space, should have scored here. And Cameron Smith, I think that might be his second block now. At least that deflection a little bit ago. Just so good at using his length and timing up those block shots. That is 2 blocks for Cameron Smith already.
Right down the lane. And a good dump off and a strong bucket. So tremendous pass there. And now it's a 1-point lead for CSUB. Pass off the curl. Little one-handed runner is good for David Walker.
So run that play specifically for Walker to come off and read the defense. He can pop out off those double screens along the baseline to the 3, or if the defense is chasing him, he can curl around and get it in the paint and finish there as well, like he did.
So CSU Bakersfield, Richie, they started out shooting 1 for 8. They're 4 for their last 4, so they're getting a little hotter on the offensive side of things.
Well, they're getting shots around the basket, right? I think all 4 of those shots were in the paint or within a foot just outside the paint. So you're seeing some CSUN defensive breakdowns.
There's Bean to put it in play. Okereke backing in against Stiff. A heavyweight battle underneath. That one is dumped off. Basket's good. And the foul. Onyeiaizi.
I love when 2 big men play 2-man games. Okereke, 6'6", 240, 250, finds an open teammate in Aizi. And he is so strong, so muscular, able to body up, take the hit, and get the and one.
Justin Edler Davis committed the personal foul. And a miss. Right now, in terms of the foul situation, the Roadrunners are in the bonus. 17 fouls for CSUN, just 14 fouls for CSU Bakersfield. So they've got a way to go before they get in the bonus. Oh, dribbling through the double team and Walker with a one hand. Okereke comes down with a board. Just about 8 minutes remain in the first half. These 2 teams have picked their way through a 14-13 game so far. Patton Wright getting closer to the bucket, had it stripped.
Wow. It's like the tides are turning. All of a sudden, CSU Bakersfield picking up the defensive intensity.
Level of respect down here on the sideline, guys, that Rod Barnes has with his team and certainly within this building.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. He's been through the wars. He's been through these battles. He understands it and communicates that well to his players.
I'll tell you, when I was an assistant coach at Austin Peay, 19 years ago, and he was at Ole Miss, they were playing fast and free against us, I can tell you that. He had a really good team.
That game stands out, huh?
Yeah, it definitely stands out.
McCall back for Smith. Smith just a little short on the jumper. Rebound taken down by Aizi. There's Stevens with the basketball, looking for Wright. 7 minutes to go, first half. Right behind the back, Wright. Lost a handle, but right there was Okereke. And he's looking for some help. Bean with it. 4 seconds to shoot. Less than that now. Inside Okereke, and it's stolen. And since Cameron Smith came in the game, he has been very good on the defensive end.
Yeah, great look right here.
Easter had it, but Stiff the rebound, fouled on the way up. Well, the foul will be on Marcel Stevens. It'll be his second foul of the game.
So I think CSUN's done a really good job on Stiff. You know, he has a load. He has a wide, physical, thick, strong frame. He's usually bowling his way into the paint when he's posting up. He's only got 1 field goal attempt. Well, you can't consider that the second one because he just got fouled. It won't count in the stat sheet. But he's a guy that at UC Davis earlier this season, he scored 20 points in the first half, but he plays so physical, he fouled out after that and couldn't play the rest of the game.
And when the Roadrunners have been successful, it's been largely because Stith has been healthy. Last year in February, lost the rest of his season due to injury in a game against UC Santa Barbara. But a healthy man in the middle at 6'8" is always a good thing for any team and any coach.
It's not just like he's 6'8". He is like 270, 265 physical force. And when he went down last year, right there towards the end of the regular season, that killed him. And, you know, and they're still upset about how they lost to UC Davis in the first round a year ago today.
A foul on the floor. Foul will be whistled on Sean Stiff. I'll check that. That is Stiff because he's coming out of the game. So Sean Stiff, his second foul, and Rod Barnes will get him out with 6:13 to go in the half. Really does not want his big man to pick up a third one at this point, but there is another foul immediately as Wright charged the basket. This will be on Graylin Easter.
Yeah, so Atten Wright, you know, he's got a scorer's mentality. He's taking to the basket every single time he can. You know, I remember when he was a freshman, we used to just rave about how beautiful his shooting stroke was from 3. And now it looks like he's really added to his game the ability to penetrate and score consistently.
In the game to replace Stiff is Brian Washington, getting his first minutes of action here tonight. 3-point lead for CSUN with just over 6 minutes to go. McCall going toward the basket. A wild shot, and the rebound taken down by Okereke. Gets it off to Darius Bean. Wright quickly feeds it out, but a foul. It'll be an offensive foul and a charge on Atten Wright.
No, I think it's a good call. It's not even about the footwork of the defense because Atten Wright's upset about it. It's more about how he just barreled and bulldozed over him. He didn't use his shoulder necessarily, but he was completely out of control. That's why it's called a player control foul. Him coming out of the game, a little bit of a blow, as he is their best scorer.
Look at the foul situation. Nobody with more than 2 right now, but certainly each coaching staff keeping a close eye on those players. McCall, kick out. And on the baseline was Graylin Easter. So a turnover for CSU Bakersfield. So Easter will come out, and coming in is David Walker. He'll take over for him. Easter will get a break.
I want to know who's going to pick up the scoring load for CSUN with Wright out of the game.
It's been a defensive battle here. You know, there's been some pretty good defensive series for both teams on each end of the court. The score is rather low at this point with just over 5 minutes to go in the half. Almost 15 minutes gone in the game. Aizi goes up. Managed to save himself from a turnover going up and down. Now Okereke off to Stevens. Stevens, and he is hacked on his way to the basket.
You're not lying about the defensive battle. You know, we might have a team not make 20 points in the first half.
Foul will be on Brian Washington, his first. And Stevens to the line. So Marcel Stevens, a sophomore, he's out of Beverly Hills Impact Academy, and last year in his freshman year for CSUN only appeared in one game. So this has been the season where really he probably feels more like what college basketball should feel like to a player.
It's part of things. Played 23 games. And the CSUN squad has lost a lot of good players. You know, Darius Brown was the player we all talked about coming into the year. He played 7 games before he got injured. Lance Coleman hasn't played a game. Nick Herman. Miles Brookins only played 3 games. It's 4 scholarship players for CSUN that haven't played hardly at all. They've actually missed 129.
His team to move on to the quarterfinals to play Hawaii.
What a day for him.
So the McCall family hoping to go 2 for 2.
Exactly.
It was Cameron Smith going to the basket, fouled. And it'll be on Fidelis Okereke.
That's what the Roadrunners do. They attack the basket. It's a good move. Little shot fake with the right for Smith. Go up with his left. Does a good job scoring in the paint.
And the foul on Okereke, the 10th team foul for CSUN. So now CSU Bakersfield will be in the double bonus for the remainder of the first half, which is just under 5 minutes. And Smith knocks the second one down. Okolona, Mississippi, hometown for Cameron Smith, 6'7", out of Pearl River Community College. Transferred in. Okereke shovels it to Bean, now up top Stevens.
Zone pressure by CSU Bakersfield.
Bean, long pass to Raines over there on the right side. Wide open look at a 3. Rebound taken down by Travis Henson. Henson getting his first minutes. Now Smith looking for Henson underneath. Little step back jumper. And the rebound taken down by Onyi Aizi.
Missed opportunity. He gets so close to the basket. It's a great play. Got to finish those. CSU Bakersfield trying to slow down the Matadors with a zone attack.
Inside, Aizi on the miss. And here comes Higgins running it up the floor. Caleb Higgins, sophomore point guard. Walker back up top it goes to Smith. Hand off Higgins. More than 16 minutes played in the game so far. An offensive play in UC Davis, the 10-7 game. That will be coming up a little later on this evening.
You know, coming out of this timeout, this 2-2-1 press by CSU Bakersfield, falling back to their zone attack. And here's the thing about it. They've got 1 assist to 7 turnovers. And they're not shooting the ball well, like 28%. So they're trying to force turnovers so they can get easier buckets, high percentage shots on the other end.
Stevens missing on the 15-footer. Now CSU Bakersfield back the other way. And a little body contact out near the three-point arc. And that foul will be whistled on Darius Bean. And that's his first. So 2 shots for David Walker. Again, the Roadrunners in the double bonus. So I talk about some cold shooting and why the score is the way it is. We've got hot defense, but cold shooting.
Yeah.
Which is the combination that's given us the low score. But the Roadrunners have not had a field goal in the last 5 minutes and 21 seconds. They're 0 for their last 6.
Yeah, I mean, they're shooting very poorly. And even at the free throw line, I think they're 5 of 11 now.
And for CSUN, they're 0 for their last 4. They haven't had a field goal in the last 4 minutes and 51 seconds, almost 5 minutes now. They'll try to do it here, and they do. So Stevens knocks down the 3.
Well, big props to Okereke in the post. He's got an opportunity to go one-on-one, but he finds an open teammate in Marcel Stevens for the 3-point shot.
Drive was cut off. Here's Henson. He looked for a stiff on the low block, couldn't find him. Now Pinocchio with a hook pass. Henson will drive, 5 seconds to shoot. Pinocchio for 3. He's got one. answers Stevens' tray, and it's now a 21-18 ball game. 3 points separate them with 2:15 to go in the half.
Just keep bringing waves to you. It's a little pressure, 2-2-1. A lot of times teams use a 2-2-1 just as token defense to slow them down. Look, they pressure you. They might even trap you out of it. They're looking to make you turn it over in that 2-2-1. Nice.
Ball stripped. David Walker on the defensive side. Lob in for Stith, low block. Muscling his way to the basket, and he's fouled. He'll pick up the foul on Onyeaize. It'll be his second.
Moving the ball around. I like the rotation. CSU Bakersfield gives Pinopio an opportunity to knock down a three-point shot. And that's the thing. I say it all the time. You know, when you move that ball around and you get that ball swung from one side of the floor to the other, you loosen up the defense. And defensive assignments are going to be missed. Guys are going to be out of place, and you're going to get open looks. You just have to knock those down.
Stith's first of 2 hits. He's now 1 for 3 from the line tonight. Substitution. Checking back in is Justin Edler-Davis. Sean Stith, third on the team in rebounding and steals. So again, defense has been pretty good at times this season for CSU Bakersfield. And here comes some full court pressure. Minute 40 to go in the half. 1 point game right now, 21-20. Stevens, who hit the last field goal, it was a 3 for CSUB.
Look at Sean Stith, number 32, down inside the paint. Directing traffic. He's a big man with a big voice. He can see the whole floor. All the defenders can hear what he has to say.
They're trying to get it to Okereke. That pass deflected out of bounds. They were trying to get it to him earlier in the possession, but Stith was too stiff in his defense.
That's a great way to say it. Look, driving a little to the middle with the left. It's 25, Darius Bean. We've had 3 or 4 player control fouls this game, maybe 4 or 5.
Another whistle. Well, Stith will head back to the line. It's been a physical ball game so far. Aize with his 3rd foul.
Well, this is where Stith can make a living. You know, at his size, 6'8", 265 or so, he's 75% from the stripe. He's tough to defend. He's got really good footwork. You don't see guys with his size with great footwork. He's got it, and he gets fouled quite a bit.
Aize is out of the ball game, and coming in for the first time for CSUB. Same on the low block right side is Elijah Uche. Roadrunners with a 1-point edge. Full court pressure now. CSUB with a press break on, and here is Raines. Getting it back to Darius Bean. Back to Raines. Okereke took it too far away from the basket. Now a little jump stop, one-hand lay-in. Beautiful by Kalen Raines.
Find those angles, find those gaps, and attack them. Great job from Raines.
Stith backing in against Okereke. And Stith wins the battle.
Well, I think where CSUN made a mistake is they left one-on-one in the post. No help on Stith.
Lead seesawing back and forth at the end of the first half. CSUN gets the ball across the stripe. Uche. And we've got a whistle here. Traveling is the call, says Vern Harris. And it looked like Justin Edler-Davis got the worst of that. So he needs a moment.
Yeah, he's walking a little gingerly.
See if Rod Barnes gets him out. Send Cameron Smith back into the ball game, and they will get him out of the game. Edler-Davis will sit. Well, CSU Bakersfield can play for the foul shot here. And they'll try to set things up once they get it crossing up from the Dollar Loan Center in Henderson, Nevada. 4 seconds to go. That one swatted away. And CSUN will get a final piece back to start the second half. He'll put the ball in play right in front of us.
Beautiful.
And here we go. Second half. Winner gets Long Beach State Thursday in the quarterfinals.
It's a tough one, too. How about Long Beach State? How about them? Struggled for the last few years out of nowhere. Winning the league in the regular season. I love it.
Dan Lawson did a great job this year for the Beach. And a whistle and a foul right away here in the second half. So we still have one more game to come tonight. Fouls on Okereke, by the way, his second. But the second first-round game for the men tonight. Cal Poly, the 10th seed against UC Davis Aggies. They came in as the number 7 seed. That's still to come.
See what I like about what CSU Bakersfield is doing. Very first possession, they go inside the paint where they've had some success. They've already got a foul on CSUN.
Here's Higgins. Off to McCall. McCall. Careful not to pick up that pivot foot. Now Higgins, oh my, that one's tipped in by McCall. He came in out of nowhere.
That's why you go after offensive rebounds.
He's got 7 points now. Cross-court pass to Elijah Hardy. Darius Bean fires one underneath to Okereke, and that one is blocked by McCall.
That's really impressive, because Okereke had the correct positioning on Justin McCall, and McCall had to make up for it and get the block shot. That's really good stuff. Look, he's got great position, totally got him sealed, and McCall comes behind and blocks it. Got to make up for that bad mistake he made.
Long 3 attempts. It's nothing but glass. Elijah Hardy is trying to make something out of nothing there.
Well, that's exactly what CSU Bakersfield wants to do. Push him outside that 3. Make him take a contested NBA 3 at the end of the shot clock.
Get a look at Higgins bringing the ball up the brand new floor for the Big West tournament. Recently installed here at the new arena. Stiff for 2. And that'll extend the lead for CSU Bakersfield to 5.
Yeah, this is the game plan second half. Pump the ball down inside.
It's like a reach-in foul.
And it was a silly foul. It was unnecessary. I don't know why he grabbed him like that. Now that's going to take Edler Davis out of the game. I think it's only a second foul, but coach didn't like it.
Right. He's going to have to sit for a bit and think about it.
No better tool than the bench, right? Teaching tool.
Hardy guarded by McCall. Now Okereke sets the screen. Hardy, long left-handed shot. McCall the rebound. Here come the Roadrunners. So carried over from the end of the first half to now. CSU Bakersfield has a 13-2 run going.
Wow. Oh, look at that. Again.
He's been leading the way for the Roadrunners. 8 points. 3 rebounds. McCall in the miss. But he's got a big body underneath, and he's been tough to handle so far for CSUN.
I mean, he's already reached his season average when it comes to points, but he's playing so much better than just scoring buckets. And look, an offensive rebound. That's a backbreaker for CSUN. Because Stiff takes up so much space, and when he gets the ball, creates so much attention that he is such a good passer to his teammates, either diving to the basket or setting up for outside shots.
Behind the back pass, and McCall hits the rim at the buzzer to avoid the turnover, but rebound goes to CSUN anyway. They've got possession. You know, we've been in this arena a little bit today, Richie, and this is the new home for the Big West tournament here in Henderson, Nevada. What do you like about things that you see around here so far?
Oh, first of all, I love the atmosphere in this place. This is brand spanking new. The very first event to ever take place, the very first day of anything happening here. This scoreboard's about the best scoreboard I've ever seen in my life.
That's beautiful.
That's awesome. You know, I just think as we get into like quarterfinals, the semis, the finals, but
and as you cross the the city of Henderson line from Las Vegas, you basically come to the Green Valley Ranch area and you're right at the arena.
Yeah, I mean, you're still extremely close, but if you want to be a little further out, get the best of both worlds.
Be a great sporting venue for this community, and certainly the Big West gets to take advantage of it. And right hits a three.
Well, that's one con to pressing. You'll oftentimes give up layups and open threes on the other end.
7 points now for Wright. Gets CSUN to close it to 3. Now they're looking for a takeaway. Caleb Higgins with a basketball. Pump pass in toward the lane. That's a mid-range jumper that falls for Cameron Smith.
Get right back into their press.
Miles James, who went out early with 3 fouls, still with the 3, senior out of Inglewood, California. And Hardy launches.
Oh, wow.
He's got one. That's a 3 ball for Elijah Hardy. 7 points now for the guard from Oakland. Transfer from Portland State. Bishop O'Dowd High School in Oakland, California. Turnaround jumper. That's good, too. That mid-range jumper is falling for Cameron Smith.
So what they're doing is Cameron Smith is camping out at the elbows against the zone pressure, right? So that's one way you can beat a zone, is get the ball at the elbows in the right free throw line area. 2 possessions in a row, he's knocked down a jumper being there.
Hardy guarded by Higgins. Gets it into Miles James. I beg your pardon, that is Icha. Oh, it is James. Had a first instinct, remember?
Right, exactly. You just go with the first instinct.
Go with the first instinct.
Take your own advice.
I'll remember that. Higgins will set it up. Again, the defensive change for CSUN. His own look right now. It's McCall. It's the pass to Higgins. They pump it inside. Stiff, and he lays it in with a right hand.
He's hard to defend. Big, huge, broad shoulders, power.
He's the first player in the game now to get into double figures. He has 11 points. And CSU Bakersfield has 3 of their last 3 down the floor. Underneath, James tries the reverse layup, gets his own rebound, overshoots, so Karake with it. And he looks to muscle, steps between 2 defenders. Great step through the double team to score 2.
Really impressive, because he had a very lengthy Travis Henson enveloping him on the block and still able to get that shot off.
Four-point ball game right now, second half. Travis Henson. And along the baseline, it's hot here in the second half. But the foul right before the break on Darius Bean. And the shot taken and made by Cam Smith. Cameron Smith. He's got a nickname. Prefers it. Is it Benno?
What is it?
It's Benno.
Benno, yeah. I've heard them say that before.
Yeah. Not sure the origin of it, but that's what he likes to be called.
I'm wondering that myself.
Patton right short on that long jumper. And here comes Benno. He's got the basketball. Up to Higgins. Higgins stutter steps and fires one a little bit long from 15. On the run out, Darius Bean. Bean will try to take it himself. He's got Ivan Reynolds defending him. Scramble for the loose ball. Won by CSUN.
Well, that pressure defense by Reynolds on the ball right now. He's the one that stopped the transition. Remember, he just got his first start today. Freshman.
To the corner. Bean Now backing in. Turnaround jump shot. Rebound goes to Stiff.
And Stiff's just tearing up the rebound. 7 boards to go along with 11 points.
And he's working on a double-double.
Yeah, he is.
So you wouldn't exactly call this game a track meet. You might call it.
I want to hear that analogy.
The UFC, maybe. I don't know. It's been very physical.
A slobber knocker?
Yeah.
It's called a slobber knocker.
This one's launched and made by Caleb Higgins.
That's pretty. Off the bounce. His first 3 of the game.
Largest lead now at 9 for CSU Bakersfield. There's a foul as Hardy hits the deck. Well, typically what happens during the conference tournaments is the crowds crescendo as the week goes along. Semifinals on Friday for both the men and the women, and then the championship games on Saturday. Winners get automatic bids into the NCAA tournament.
Well, look, this CSUN squad's got to do something about protecting the paint. They've given up 20 points down there, and they've allowed the Roadrunners to get to the free throw line 21 times. Now, fortunate for CSUN, CSU Bakersfield's only made 12 of those 21 free throws. This could be much, much worse. They could just knock them down.
Reynolds, an errant pass. It was taken by Hardy, but he stepped on the baseline. So his foot was on the line. He was out of bounds here. Watch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just barely. Yep. Both of them. Would that have been out of bounds in football?
Oh, yeah. Higgins, long 3, no, and Hardy gets the rebound and a little redemption.
Yeah. Keep pushing if you're CSUN.
Second chance. Bean, hey, launches and hits.
And see, that might be their best offense right now. Pushing the basketball, not allowing CSU Bakersfield to set up in their defense. See if you can get layups or quick outside shots. They're knocking down 3-point shots pretty well.
Foul off the ball, looked like.
You push the basketball when defense isn't set. It's kind of the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen. And just a great job by Elijah Hardy to go all the way into the middle of the paint and then find his teammate, Darius Bean, for his 5th made 3 of the season.
Well, fouls on CSUN's Onyaizi, and that's his 4th. So he becomes the first player in the game in serious foul trouble. And this time the quick foul will be on Marcel Stevens. That'll be his 3rd. So getting a little deeper into the foul situation as the game goes along. So we are approaching the halfway mark of the second half.
Typically, CSU Bakersfield's a really good free throw shooting team. 72% as a squad. That's pretty good.
A baseline jump shot taken by Edler Davis, beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Knew I was going to do that once.
You're not the first and won't be the last.
Foul at the other end. It's E-D-L-E-R, not E-L-D-E-R.
It's kind of like Brian Russell when he played for the Jazz. Everybody called him Byron Russell.
Right.
Or was it the other way around? I can't remember which way it was. But everybody always got it backwards.
Sean Stiff's 2nd foul. He'll take a little break.
He's a beast outside.
Also getting a chance to get a blow right now is Caleb Higgins. Graylin Easter, right there, number 5, has come in to take his spot. That's a deflection, a would-be shot by Patton Wright. Wright turns it over.
CSUN can't afford too many of those.
Got to take care of the basketball. Anytime you talk to a coach in the morning shoot-around, right? You shoot around before the game and you say, hey, give me some keys to the game, and you've done this 50 million times.
Yeah.
Right? Got to take care of the basketball. It's usually either number 1 or number 2 or maybe number 3.
And play good defense and rebound at the other 2.
Score 1 more than the other team.
Exactly.
But you usually get that. I mean, almost every coach to a coach will say, got to take care of the basketball.
Yeah.
Can't turn it over. Stevens to the bucket. He's fouled.
And both these teams, I mean, they're not awful with taking care of the ball. They're 8-9 turnovers apiece, but the difference is they don't have any assists. Not a lot of assists. As CSUN, it continues to do a good job when they push the basketball of scoring points. And I get to score points with the clock being on.
Third foul on Braylon Easter. Right there is Ivan Reynolds, made his first college start tonight. The freshman from Pompano Beach, Florida, Dillard High School, who was also a track star in high school as well as basketball.
You know, he's walked by us several times, and you get a good look at him. He does not look like a freshman. 6'4", 200 and lean. He looks like a 25-year-old man with that frame. And just to think, he's 18, 19 years old. He's going to build on that over the next 3 years.
But you got to think, you know, Rod Barnes says he's playing well enough to start him in the first postseason game.
Yeah, that says something.
So that's a message. 3-point game right now. Roadrunners with the basketball and the lead. We're glad you're with us here on ESPN Plus with Richie Schuler. I'm Tim Neverett. Molly Sullivan with us. First day of action here in the Big West Championships. Shot was short by Smith. And now Stith going up. He gets fouled.
He's so hard. You can't control him. He got the offensive rebound, and he's so aggressive and physical. The physicality he plays with is unmatched in this contest. Watch him. He gets this, and look how athletic he is. That quick first step. Nobody can keep up with him down inside the paint. And he's got the power to take the hit.
Well, you got a couple of wide bodies going at it underneath. Fidelis Okereke gets the foul, his third. You got to know that is fourth, I beg your pardon. That is fourth or his third? His third. Anyway, but they you got to know that each one of them is feeling that contact.
Mm-hmm.
One shot.
That's really surprising. Shooting like 50% from the free throw line. He's typically 75%.
Here comes Bean now to trigger the inbound. Some full court pressure. So 3-point game, 9-10 to go in it. Stevens dribbling, giving it off to Wright. Well, three-man weave action. There's Hardy. Drives down the side of the lane. Tries to put the high layup in. And a scramble in the corner. Taken up by McCall, and here come the Roadrunners. Higgins had to find a man down low. That's stiff. Good pass underneath and a two-handed flush for Justin McCall.
They clearly were trying to make an adjustment when Stith caught the ball. You saw, oh my!
What a steal and a bucket by.
We're down from 5 to down 7 if you're CSUN in the blink of an eye.
CSUN, the higher seed in the home uniforms. This 8-9 game. Hardy guarded by Higgins. Been around the high screen. Now James, a wide open look, missed the three.
Seemed like he hesitated too long. Just catch and shoot that.
Right now they're in the half court, spreading the floor out right now. Higgins waiting for a cutter somewhere. Up high, the big man Stiff. Over to McCall on the right wing. Gets around Stevens. McCall to the basket. And he makes a statement. Wow. Justin McCall with a hammer.
Just attacking the glass. We talked about how incredible an athlete he is.
CSUN left him just a little lane to drive through. There's a finger roll off the glass. Elijah Hardy makes it, and a blocking foul called on the Roadrunners. So a possible three-point play now for Hardy.
Well, here it is right here. He just beat his man off the dribble. There's no help side rotation. Nobody to help there. Somebody was late. You have to meet him on the block. And then on the other end, Elijah Hardy taking the hit, the and one. Now a chance for the three-point play.
Fouls on Cameron Smith. Hardy had some troubles from the line this season. Just a 64% free throw shooter. Didn't get that one. CSU Bakersfield in the bonus the rest of the way. They have 5 team fouls, 7 on CSUB. Stiff muscling his way to the bucket for 2.
You remember right before the break when there was confusion on who was supposed to go and trap or double team him? That time nobody went. It just leaves a one-on-one. You leave Sean Stith one-on-one in the paint, bad things are going to happen for your defense.
There's Hardy. Pulls up from 17. 48-41, lead is 7. Hardy now with 13 points. He's played 22 minutes, 13 points. Pass inside for David Walker. Now goes back outside for Reynolds. McCall, he draws the crowd and recovers the basketball. Reynolds, a little shallow on that shot.
Looking to trap, it looked like from the opposite side when Stith got the ball. They got to protect the paint, not like that.
Oh my goodness!
Not like, don't do that. I would say is what they need to do. You know, look, if they can take Stith out of the game, and it might be too late now, take it away from the guard. Take it away from the guard defending the passer down inside the paint. Don't take away a goaltender.
They're battling for the loose ball underneath. And a whistle as the ball went out of bounds. Bert Harris and Tony Padilla will talk this over to the officials.
Well, this is why you get deflections on passes, right? Like, and I'm saying McCall, who's trying to get the basketball. Hardy was all over it. Could have got a piece of it. I think he did get a piece of it, but Hardy just kind of tipped it. If you can't get it, at least get a piece of it. Don't let it get stolen. And it goes right back to the inbounder.
Higgins with 11. You got McCall with 11. Stith with 13. So 3 players now for CSU Bakersfield in double figures. As Stith goes, 5 rebounds. Oh, Reynolds.
Look at the way that ball moves.
And a wild shot taken and made. How about that for Higgins? 13 points as he has now equaled the highest scorers in the game. Stith, his teammate, and Hardy for CSUN. Looked a little out of control once he made the leap, but
gathered himself, didn't he?
Yeah. That might be one of those shots where the coach says, no, 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 yes, thank you. There's a scramble for the ball, and the possession arrow will favor CSUN.
Well, here it is right here. Look, you said he looked a little out of control. He gathered himself with his upper body and was able to knock down the shot. He's a big-time player. Just a sophomore, with a strong upper body. What I love about him, though, is he can score it, but he makes plays for his teammates. He's 2.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio.
Hardy, 3, no. He'll get the rebound. Stevens, skip pass to James. James has all day for the 3. And he can't make it go. Another rebound for Sean Stith. Can you be too open sometimes?
Well, yeah, I think sometimes guys get too open. We've seen it, I think, twice in this game now, where a player's so open, he takes his time, he waits for the defense to come out and guard him, kind of a stare down 3, then he knocks it down instead of shooting it in rhythm.
So Karake commits a foul. And Okereke goes right to the bench. So he is fouled out of the ball game.
That's a massive blow right here. You see these 2 big fellows, Okereke and Stith. Okerake's been good for him. Gives him some much-needed size. 10 rebounds Okereke fouls out with.
Here comes Kalen Raines. Sophomore out of Fairmont Prep. Lakewood, California, home for him. Now, Stith with 13 points. He is 5 for 10 from the line. And he is now 5 for 11. Speaking of 11, it's the largest lead of the game for CSU Bakersfield.
Yeah, they pulled away at the right time.
And a steal by McCall. And at this point, I mean, they've been using clock anyway with their half court, but,
yeah.
but how much do you use here? If you can.
I think, I don't know if you use the phrase use clock, but I think you just ensure that you only take high percentage shots. See, that's a high percentage shot.
That's a high percentage shot. He has been high percentage. How about Higgins? 15 points, and he has now become the high scorer in the game. You look at what he does during the regular season, he averages 9.5, so he's well above his average. Caleb Higgins having himself a night.
There are teams that do try to use clock, so to speak. Look at this balanced scoring attack, by the way, for CSU Bakersfield. 39 points between the three of them. It's fantastic.
Inside, that is Reynolds. And Reynolds with a bucket. 56-41, CSU Bakersfield. As they're getting set to put the cherry on top of this one. Under 3 minutes to go. Whistle off the ball. We were looking at Caleb Higgins, Richie.
Yeah.
First half, 4 points. He was 2 for 3 shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second half, 5 for 8, 11 points.
Nice.
So 7 of 11 overall for a grand total of 15.
Big time players performing big moments. You know, the great thing about him too is that a lot of guys coming from junior college, it's an adjustment period getting to Division I. Right? He played junior college last year as a freshman, now as a sophomore, starting for CSU Bakersfield.
Kalen Raines fills up the 16-footer. Raines with 4. There's Reynolds.
Still can't believe he was a freshman. Look at that frame. Man, he is strong.
He's a big fella.
He is built. Man.
5 seconds to shoot. Higgins guarded by Raines, throws one up over him. Did it hit the rim? Apparently not. So that is a shot clock violation. So on the far side, it hit the low part of the glass, but missed the rim entirely. No medal.
Well, you know, CSUN's got knocked down a bunch of shots, but they are 3 of 15 from 3 in this game. Nothing seems to be dropping for them.
Under 150 left. And the rebound for Reynolds again.
And now you're at a point where you can probably kill some clock and maybe get a ball screen with 10 seconds to go and look to attack, unless you have a high percentage look before that.
Well, you know, head coach Norman Dale said back in Hickory, Indiana, back in the 1950s, do not shoot unless you pass it 4 times.
I like that.
Stiff off the 4th pass, drains it.
Showing his range. I like that.
Stith with 15 points. And the lead remains 15. Already tried it. And less than a minute to go in this one. And Higgins smiling as he brought the ball up the floor. I think he knows what's next. They'll practice tomorrow, and they'll prepare to take on the #1 seed and try to play giant killer in the Big West. Take on Long Beach State.
I really think they can. I mean, this is a team that is maybe getting hot at the right time. Should definitely provide for some dramatics. I think CSU Bakersfield might have an advantage in the post against Long Beach State, but Long Beach State's backcourt is so darn impressive. And they got the player of the year, Colin Slater. They're so good up and down the floor. They make you play their pace. CSU Bakersfield is going to have to be ready for that dogfight up and down.
At the line, Onye Aizi. Transfer from Fordham. So it is mighty different, especially weather-wise, from the South Bronx to Northridge.
It's a whole nother world, isn't it?
It is. I mean, Fordham is literally, you know, it's a good 5-iron from Yankee Stadium.
I tell you, this season for Trent Johnson at CSUN looks like it's coming to a close. He got the job in July. Didn't have his staff in place until early October. 5 months ago. It has been a whirlwind for him, trying to get this program and stay afloat as the interim head coach.
It'll be a men's and women's sweep today in the first round for CSU Bakersfield. As Rod Barnes' team knocks off the Matadors of CSUN officially now as the horns